Good morning. Welcome to day 36 of projectDIG. Thank you for joining. For anyone new, projectDIG is a 2D multiplayer automation survival sandbox game I am developing entirely here on Twitch, and all the VODs are going up on YouTube, so you're welcome to follow along. There are recap videos that you can check out to catch up. Right now we're working on UI, pulling over the UI from my previous game, Crea, into our new Siege game engine, which is being developed in C++. And we're making really good progress. We're at like close to the finish line. We're working on edit label, which we were working on yesterday. It's by far the most complex UI element. It's where it supports text typing and selection and deletion and copy and paste from the clipboard and just lots of functionality. And we're like about 3/5 of the way through the code, and then we'll have to actually test it and see if it's working and fix the issues that exist. So yeah, we're just gonna jump into that. Anyone's welcome to ask any questions. So I think we left off about here. Yeah, that's right. We left off right here on update overflow text. So yeah, yesterday, quick recap, we went over the biggest function in here is handle event, which is handling mostly keyboard events. There are some mouse events, so it's if you click in the edit label, it gains focus, it shows your caret, it blinks, which is handled up here in update, where it's blinking, and then you can do things like pressing arrow keys to move around, Control A and Control X and Control C and V to A is to select all of the text, X, C, and V is to copy, paste, and cut. And then also just, so lots of key events. The mouse wheel for numerical edit labels. And yeah, so we'll just get started here, keep going through the code. So what we're doing for the most part is just reading over it. I'm explaining how it's working and fixing up whatever issues I see with it. For the most part, it's already tested. Fortunately, this code, it works. It's been proven to work. So it's kind of mostly just renaming variables and looking over it, converting it to our new engine, which has some slightly different things with it. Okay, so let's see here. Update overflow text. So what this function is responsible for doing is, I think it tries to determine how the text should be overflowing. Excuse me. So overflowing is where it needs to scroll, so you can't see everything on the screen at once. It knows the text is over there, but it's not displaying it. So that means that it's overflowed in that, over in that direction. Yeah, looking over this. So what this does, if it's aligned to the left, it sets the overflow index to the caret index. And the valid position is set to the overflow index. And then I'm trying to. It iterates over from the overflow position to the end of the string, and it's checking the width table here. So it's trying to find the position, the valid position. Yeah, basically what it's trying to do here is it's trying to find where on the screen it should put the text. And since it's left aligned, it starts at the the typical text offset, and it goes until it hits the valid position, which is the width table, or at the point where the width table, the position, or from the position to the overflow index is greater than the max text width. So it's like, okay, you have this many characters, and now it starts overflowing the which is the text max width. Hey, Corner Lord, says in your bio that you've been working on indie games for 7 years. Did you develop Crea all that time? Yes, I did. I started Crea in February 2012, and I'm still kind of working on it. I was working on it full time until pretty much the beginning of this year. I did take several months off, like about 6 months or so off last year, beginning of last year, end of the year before type of thing. But yeah, worked on Crea pretty much the entire time. Okay, so this is for alignment right. So we're once again looking for valid position. So now this is walking backwards through the text. So we're, since it's right aligned, we need to go from the right side over. I don't know where we actually do this, to be honest. I don't know if I ever use this, but it was added. So yeah, it's just going from the right to the left. Must have been tough. Yeah, I mean, for various reasons. I had a lot to learn for like game dev. Oh wait, this is gonna just be set to that. And yeah, my biggest problem with Crea is that I had told myself it was going to take a very unreasonable short amount of time to develop the game, and then I continually thought that as the years went on, and so I was always kind of like rushing myself, which ended up making things take longer. Yeah, that was fun. Okay, so this is for aligning the to the center, which again, I don't know if I ever used this, but I have support for it. So this says if the width table, so the width table again is, it starts at 0, and all it does is it adds up how much space each text needs along, hopefully I add in the kerning as well. I think so, yeah. So it's how much space we need to advance to the next character, including the kerning. And that is, and so that gets added. So like the first one, it starts at 0, and then maybe the first character uses like 10 pixels. And then the next character will use 8. And so it would be like 0, 10, 18. The next one might use 7, and so then it would be 25. And those are the entries within the width table. So that way if I say, oh yeah, the caret's at, character, or after character 3, we're like, oh, well, that's 25. That's where we need to put it. Hey, Jcomus, how's it going? What's up, man? So that way we can just look up the width very easily, not have to walk through all of the characters again, looking up the width just to determine that. And you can see here we use it a lot to like, okay, well, how much space is this text using? What can we display? What can we not? So yeah, for the center text, let's see here. It says if the back, so this is if the last character is less than the max width, then we say that the overflow text index is 0. So we just say, oh, there's no overflow at all. Let's just set it so it's not really overflowing. And then we set the valid position. I don't know why we actually do this afterwards. Valid position is equal to the overflow index. We step through all of the overflow index to the end. Okay, I see. So we just set it to the start, I guess. I don't know if this is really necessary. I'm not completely sure about this code. It probably hasn't been used, which means that it might not have been like actually tested. Maybe that's something I should actually test. Update the caret position. If the width table is empty, we set it to 0. Plus the text position.x. So that's just like we've updated the text position. Otherwise, we get the width table and the caret index, which will give us the x. If we have an overflow index is greater than 0, then we subtract the amount of space that we have chopped off. So that's the start of the string. So if we are overflowing and like, we've scrolled over kind of, and we are cutting off the first like 4 characters, then we want to remove the width of the first 4 characters whenever we're calculating that the caret position based off of the width index or the width table. And this is the visible text. So we say, okay, now let's update that. I don't know if I really need to. Okay, so hey, we made it to the update width table. Hey Cooler, how's it going? So what this says is if our current width table is the same size as our string plus 1, then that must mean that we're up to date. So we don't need to recalculate it. Otherwise, we clear the width table because we don't know what actual text changed. So that's like a slightly unfortunate thing. Like, we could have maybe possibly done something like, I don't know if it's worth it really, but you know, determine like, oh, it changed at this string, you know, like I could pass in an index and it would start updating it at some index. But yeah, it's kind of a lot of extra complexity. I don't really know if it's worth it. Like, this isn't happening that often. Like, you know, you might change the string once every few frames. Not that big of a deal. Okay, so we need to get our font. That's what I just grabbed up there. There's our current font. So we'll be using that. I honestly don't know if I'm going to use this character size. I think I'm just going to replace it with the text.size. I don't even know if I need it, to be honest, because we have our text size built into our font. Yeah, also I don't think right now we don't support bold characters. So I'm going to get rid of that too. I'll go over what this is doing here in just a moment. So the current width, previous character, set the first entry to our current width, which is just 0. So we start at 0. And so we have to handle two things here. One, if we have characters hidden, and one if we don't. The one if we have our characters hidden, it's pretty easy because all we just have to do is, and I think I could actually simplify this. This is a little silly. Right? Oh, not if you have spaces. No, spaces, it should be hidden too. Yeah, so really, so this is the, we create this bullet character. And that's how much space each bullet character needs. And so this is going to be quite different, actually. That needs to be font, get, glyph, current font, and the character is just this. And then we want the advance X. And I believe that returned a float, yes. So we might want... So this wasn't an issue in Crea, but I wonder if the width table really should be a float. Hey, Anzurus, what's up? Or maybe at least like the current width could be a float. Maybe we could do that. So the current width is a float. And then we can do something like, we also want, what's the kerning? I forget. Font, get kerning, current font, the previous character, the current character, which is the bullet character. It's always the bullet character in this case. What's the kerning between those two, which I imagine is like 0. They can't really overlap their circles. Which, yeah, makes me think I probably don't even need that. I think I'm not even going to add kerning for that. I guess I really should be. Yeah, I guess I should be. Just in case it has some, I don't know, maybe kerning can like go negative basically, where it spaces them further away instead. So that's a float as well. So we'll say this is the bullet kerning. And so then we don't need that anymore. We say iterate through the string. And in that case, we don't really even care about I. We're just like, hey, let's iterate through this thing. And the current width, current width is just always going to be the bullet space plus the kerning. And then we don't really need to do this every frame. That's kind of silly as well. We actually don't even need the previous character in this case. And then we say that the current width is equal to I plus 1. And we need to do that because, you know, actually, what I could do is just have it start at 1 up here. No, I think I'm okay with that. Having it be, because we start at 0 where it doesn't count the string. And so we always want it to be like offset by 1, which is what we're doing here. Like 0 is before the string starts. Width table 1 is after the first character at, and the first character's at index 0. Since these are all the bullet characters, since we're hiding the characters, it's really simple. So here's the more complex one. So get glyph. Oh, this is horizontal space. Oh, this is probably going to complain about me putting the current width. So that's a UN32. So let's do this. Let's cast this. Let it cast to a UN32. So it's all floats up until this point. Whenever it goes into the width table, we cast it. So again, we need get glyph. So that's going to be the current font, and then the character, and we need the advanced X. Hey Cash, what's up? Hey guys, thanks for saying hi, I appreciate it. Hello, hello, Dig Dug. Okay, so here we just get this horizontal space because there's a good chance that whatever you're typing in has multiple spaces, and so we can kind of just cache that and use that instead of having to like calculate what's the size of this, this glyph every single time we encounter a space. So we get the string, the current character, then we say, hey, the current width is, we want to add in the kerning. So we're not doing that cast right now. We do need to say current kerning, and this is the current font previous character and the current character. That's good. We add that to the current width. So the kerning, for anyone who like wasn't here while I was working on trying to figure that out, it's basically if you do something like AV, there's this overlap that can happen between the A and the V, where the downslope of the A and the upslope of the V overlap some. So there's like no kerning is when they don't overlap, and then kerning is whenever they do. And so that means we like have the next character actually move in on the current character. So here you can see that example. Kerning. There's another example. Yeah, here it shows an example of multiple kernings, like no kerning, a little bit of kerning, lots of kerning. Okay, so that's the font kerning. So we add that, which I believe is oftentimes like a negative number. That's what it looked like whenever I was looking at the kerning tables. So it kind of moved it back, or it can, and then we set the previous character to the current character since we got the kerning. That's the only thing we need the previous character for, is determining the kerning. So that's actually a good point. We could bring that down in here since we don't use the previous kerning up here. Or previous character, sorry. And so then we say if the current character is equal to this character, which is just a space, then we increment the by current space. If it's a tab, then we increment the current width by the horizontal space times 4. And then lastly, we say, okay, well, it's not a horizontal space, so let's get the glyph of that current character. So first we need to pass in the current font here, and then we need to advance it by X, and this is a pointer, so, and then lastly we set the current that entry into the width table to that current width. And that's it. It's really simple actually. And so that's how we build our width table. It's good. And so I believe the last thing we need to do here is add in support for our draw and draw immediate. I got rid of paste clipboard, that's right. What's wrong with this? Oh, I think I changed this to be constref. And this doesn't have a return type. So yeah, draw and draw immediate. I don't see that recalculate size. I don't think we need that anymore. I think that was, I was hiding it, like I was overriding it, so we can get rid of that. Okay, so render is basically draw immediate. This has the wrong function. Yeah, so, or parameters. So we'll move this down here so that they're in a better order. Then draw. Okay, so now we can look at all of this fun stuff, figure out what it's doing. So lots of games don't have proper kerning and it drives me crazy. Sometimes. I honestly don't know if I've ever noticed. All right, so drawing. So we first move it over, the translation. We set the texture, this is for the outline background vertices and outline vertices. Oh, right. But I think do we set those up here? Maybe we don't. Maybe I need to be setting that up. Oh, this is void. Wait, does this return a bool? I don't think so. Oh. Dang. Suddenly, I need that. Or I need to change update style to take or to return a value. Hmm. I'm gonna look at that. There might be a better way for me to do this, actually. So, texture. I think I didn't realize I also need to set the texture for these. This is all the same. We get resource, that's cheap. We can do that easily. So we have background. What's the other one? Outline vertices. So we need to set the texture on all three of those. We don't have the font here. Oh, it's because it's within here. There's still a lot of like little errors that I need to go through and fix up. Okay, we'll add in the current font there. Oh, whoops. Looks like we missed that one. Okay. Fortunately, a lot of these are really easy. Font color, shadow color, there we go. Oh, this is the shadow color. Okay, cool. We'll fix that up there soon. What's this? The care. Surprised it doesn't allow this. Hans care pointer and care. Oh wait, that's a cons care pointer? Oh. Text size. Oh, I didn't realize that it supported multiples. Let's see. Can I just say the first entry? That should be fine. Like, maybe. Actually, maybe not. Wait, how do they have, like... Oh, I see. So this supports up to 32, and it's probably just null terminated. Yeah, so it's probably wrong to check this in case like it's a Unicode and maybe a Unicode character starts with like /r. That value. So I probably... Okay. For this, I probably need to actually do like a string or a Unicode input and take, make a Unicode out of that, and then compare the input to wait, couldn't I? I think actually maybe I could have just done this. Whoops. That works too. I think input's fine. I need to fix that one though. Yeah, and also that's a little trickier. I suppose what I could do is hey Sir Kane, what's up? To say like if maybe event.text.text. Maybe this input size is greater than 0. Or it's, maybe not equal to 1. Maybe that's what I should do. If it's not equal to 1, exactly 1 character, then let's just return true. We don't want to handle it right now. In the future, that's probably not what we want to do. But then that makes it possible for us to kind of go back to what we had. And we could even, at this point, say, here's our input character. Which is this input 0. $27 could work for escape. Okay, sure. I'm okay with that. It regards me. a hex version of OX27. Wait, what? Oh, okay. Gotcha, so that's hex. So then this would be what, 3.0? Yeah, I guess we could do that. Seven, 9. So then this should be 3.9, right? Isn't 030? Oh, sorry. Yes, you could. I'm making it more complicated than it needs to be. But I think the problem with that is that I was saying it's greater than. Yeah, I don't know if that's quite right. Let me look at this. Okay, no, it is right. Yeah, you're right. If it's greater than or equal to numeric. Oh, sorry. If it's less than. Oh, yeah. If it's numeric only and it does not fit within that range, that's what I'm saying. I'll have to look at replace. Okay, we've almost fixed all of those issues now. We don't need to do this stuff. Our background vertices is set up. Our local position. I'll just say our pixel vector position is offset plus the area, right? This is going to be render, draw. So if we have focus or we are full-time, as meaning it's always focus, basically. Then we draw the background. Otherwise, if it's highlighted, we draw the outline. If it's not full-time, that means it basically is like hidden. Just shows text. You can support cursor navigation and stuff like that. Cursor navigation, you mean like where you click in the text and it sets your caret there, or no? You mean something else? Okay, so update the selection rect. So if you have text selected, then we're trying to figure out where that selection rectangle should go. I don't remember. Is that, it's just a, that and using arrow keys. Yes, I have both of those supported. Yeah, we worked on that yesterday. Should this be set? What about control plus arrow keys? Yep. I'm a programmer, of course. Shift plus Alt, yeah. Wait, what's... Oh, I don't have... What's control plus backspace? I don't have that. Oh, that deletes everything before that? Oh, interesting. I never used that. That's like so hard for me to do. I guess I would need to use it the other way. Yeah, interesting. I never used that. I could though. My word selection is not that great. Like, well, determining the word boundaries really. It's harder whenever there's like, you know, periods or semicolons or whatever, like, yeah, special characters. There's probably a better way for me to do that. Like right now it mostly just stops on periods, but I would be happy to fix that stuff up. Set size. That's the area. Oh, that's why this isn't working. Area, I think there's a like set position, right? Yeah. Then we have area set size. Very few games support control arrow keys. Yeah, actually right now I think I only support control shift arrow key. So I'll have to look at that. So only for selecting. But yeah, I would be happy to like make this a little bit better. And index. So this is for a selection rectangle. So that's basically like, you see how like if I have that entire line selected or whatever, that the blue, that is the selection rectangle that we are rendering here. So we want to render that before we render the text. What about clipboard support? Yeah, got that. So if it can't overflow, then we say we want the minimum value between the selection index and the overflow index plus the overflow length. So yeah, this is just determining like, hey, if you selected text that goes beyond what's currently visible, then we need to like cut it off, basically. We don't need to show the selection text for everything. Like, you know, if we have all of that, but it's scrolled, we don't need to show everything. That's what that's doing. We have the index position, which is the text position plus the width table end index, and the end index is the either the minimum value between the end index, which we calculated here, or the max or the width table size minus 1. Yeah, this is like fairly complicated stuff trying to set that all up. Again, oh, we have area set position. How is this different? It looks like the only difference really is that instead of caret position, it's index, right? Yeah. And then we draw our rectangle. So I actually need to, at this point, say the selection index. Or selection rectangle, sorry. Area, we want to move it by the position amount. So it's on-screen space, because this is local space. What about RTL text? I don't know if I know what RTL is. Yeah, I think I'll just do this. This is position. Text group. So we don't have that. Word wrap text. Yeah, we don't support wrap text right now. And we don't have this text group thing. Right to left text. I think I kind of have that. I have left or right aligned text. I don't know exactly how that's working right now. I don't think it's fully supported. Like, there aren't that many languages that use it. And even the languages that you do use right to left can also do left to right. And like Japanese, like many books are like, usually it's, I don't know, maybe it's mostly just books that are for Americans. Maybe that's what it is, because I didn't read actual like Japanese books while I was studying Japanese. I was reading stuff for Americans in Japanese, so yeah. Okay, and then we have our caret, which is a sprite. I think with that, do we change the position for our caret? Looks like we do. I'm forgetting. Do we have render, draw? We can pass in our caret sprite. Let me look at caret dot position. Yeah, we set it in a lot of places. This kind of sucks. This again is where I'm like, kind of would like to just say offset plus the area, but we technically don't have an overload for that. Make a copy of this right here. I guess that's one thing I could do. It's kind of wasteful. To say, what would be the best way to do this? I could make it be an optional thing. It's honestly probably better for me to just say sprite caret is equal to m_caret, make a copy of it, and then set the position, or add the position like this. This is probably the better way to do it. Don't like it. It's kind of lame, but Another possible way I could do it is everywhere that I do caret position, m_caret position, I change that to like caret_ position. So it's a unique variable that I am using, and then at the end, whenever I go to draw it, I set the position on the caret. So I'd say like m_caret position is equal to m_caret_ position, and so that plus also the offset and the area. So that way I can calculate and use this in relative space, but whenever I go to draw it, I convert it into screen space. The caret position, that's probably the most efficient way to go about doing it. This actually would not be that hard to do, because all I would need to do is comment that out and then say replace everything that uses caret dot position with everything with this caret_ position, which isn't even that many places. And then we can, oh whoops, I guess that still got it. Dang, lost my connection, but fortunately we are still recording, so we'll just keep going. Hopefully I get internet back again soon. Okay, so caret position is set to this caret_ position plus the offset plus the area. So that's just moving it. I wonder, I might be able to do it like this. I'm curious. I think that should work. Yes. Okay. So right now, I think we only have like 2 issues left. One though is this update style. Yeah, I guess what I'll do for now is say bool update style like this, which actually is going to override. Hey guys, I'm back. Hopefully it doesn't go down again. Yeah, my internet's been kind of sketch recently, to be honest. I don't know why. So I did this yesterday, and I kind of shouldn't have, I guess. I guess. Like, I do all of this. Yeah, dang. I was lurking, but when I went silent, you just had to talk. Well, welcome back. Well, welcome to non-lurk mode. Okay, so I'm curious where update style at that point, right? Yeah, okay. Oh, but I did that stuff. Oh, that's a little awkward, huh? Wait, no, I think that's okay. Actually, so what we want to do is reverse this and this. And now we have our update style. And then in here, I can just reverse that. And I think that's it. Nice. Okay, cool. And then what I need to do is, so we have this bool, that should be fine. Yes, and we don't even need the update style. This will be underscore bool. Okay, so pretty much how this is going to work now is that whenever the update style is being called, what will happen is that we'll call update style on label. We'll then call element update style. It then calls underscore update style, which since we are an edit label, it's going to call our edit label update style, which then goes and calls the label update style, goes through all of that. That returns if it's dirty or not. And then we get that value back, and then we do our own update style for the edit label to see if, you know, update all of our styling basically and set that. Cool. That looks like it should work. I've only been working for 7 hours and I'm ready for a nap. 7 hours is a good chunk of time. Okay, so let's change this. Well, we have to cast it, static cast to a UN32 type. Since that's what we're wanting there. Size T to const T. Wait, what? I hate all this casting stuff. You get a cast and you get a cast. Oh, I see. I thought size T was in 32. Well, not always, I guess. Oh yeah, that's only on 32-bit, huh? This seems like it's very often passing in that. Oh yeah, I think that's a uint. I kind of wonder if I should have just made caret index be a size T. Maybe I should. I guess a good question is... Wait, why is this a float? Should be, I would say, an int 32T. It's all invalid now. Update caret position. Okay, I think I'm going to try doing that. Size T is our caret position. Update caret, that will take a size T. So then in case like this, I don't need that. Or this, I don't think I need it anymore. Actually, wait, this will be a size T now. Yeah, get rid of this one too. Absolute value. And 32 size T. Can I just say that this is a N32T or no? Oh, it's overloaded. It's not templated. Duh. Sometimes it's a little confusing because like, yeah. So it doesn't like this. Selection index, static, cast, N32T. Seems like we have that in several places. Size T is also unsigned. Oh, is it unsigned? Maybe I should make my selection index be unsigned. No, and here I need to do the absolute value. I wonder, I feel like, I'm starting to feel like I just moved my problem. Also, I'm pretty sure I could refactor this little chunk of code. Like, I think it is worthwhile doing. I have not worked with Godot. Yeah, it looks like I just moved my problems. Okay. Maybe I'll take that back. That's an int. Why is this a uint? Shouldn't that be an int, really? This is not my fave thing that I have to do. Choosing types for things has been like, yeah. I maybe could come up with a better solution for this then. Maybe this is like a good indicator that I'm doing something kind of wrong here. Like update caret, maybe it should be an int. My problems wouldn't be so bad if I just used like size t for things or int 32. Yeah, I think all of the places that call this update caret for it to pass in an int. Get in there. Size t to int 32. So I calculate the local position here, but I never use the y position. So maybe I should just say local x. Wait, where's the size t? Oh, it's the back. Right? No, back is not. Okay, I don't know where it's getting the size t from in here. Oh, I see. Size t, it's talking about the uint32. Width table has a uint, whereas, yeah. I regret doing stuff like that. I really should just like use int in most places. What's a pixel vector? It's a vector that is in unit space pixels and has uses int32 as the underlying data type. Yeah, I don't know, like, I feel, so a part of me, like, younger me was like, oh, hey, this should never be negative, so I should just use an unsigned value. But man, that adds so much annoyances to things later on where it's like, oh, what if you want to subtract two unsigned values from one another, then, and if it goes negative, you want to do something, or, but then it's like impossible because they're both unsigned, or like, yeah, in this case where I'm using a uint32 in our width table because we're never going to have a negative width, but we use it with a bunch of like other values, like, yeah, such as here, and it becomes a pain. And so it's like, I really should just use int32 in like 99% of places. I don't know. I'm starting to feel like that's the correct way to go. I don't think I need to cast it here. I don't know why I am. But yeah, I really should be using int32 more. I changed width table to have it int32 instead of a uint. I'm just gonna set this to 0. That I do need to cast. Static cast and oops, and 32t, and up here this and index. See, like actually no, that's fine. That's a size T, huh? Unsigned master race, yeah. It's like, I like using unsigned values, but man, is it annoying sometimes when you're having to cast between all of these. Because, yeah, it's just like, yeah, this thing will never be negative, but it interfaces with a lot of things that could possibly be negative. And so they need to be in 32, and then there's that like awkwardness of like, oh, now you have to cast it to be an int. And it's like, well, what's the point of having it be an unsigned value? Yeah, it's just like, would I have to cast if everything was unsigned? Yes. Or if everything was just signed. It's like, we're never going to use those extra values, so who cares if it's signed or unsigned? We're not going to go beyond. Like, we don't need that last extra bit that's being used for this, the sign bit or whatever it's called. Okay, so the last, fix that one. The last thing now is this replace is wrong. Let's see here. So which one was I going for again? It was length character. No, that's not what I wanted at all. Okay. I no wonder why it's not working. C++ string replace character. Ah, there we go. Where do you have to provide the iterators? Will you be using the extra positive values that come from the unsigned though, or is it just a matter of good practice? Well, I think that if you're never interfacing with, and I'm still figuring this out. By the way, hey, Rixium, welcome. If you are never having to deal with signed values, your unsigned values and signed values, then using unsigned, I'm sure, is preferred if you don't, it should never be negative. But yeah, as soon as you have to start moving to be signed, then you need to like cast it or, you know, convert it properly. Like probably the better way, I don't even know, like maybe the better way to do it is to like actually upcast it or something and say, hey, this, you know, instead of having like, if you have a is that right? I guess that's only with uint32s. Like if you add two and uint32s together, you could possibly get a value that's no longer uint32. Like it could go beyond, and then it should like technically scale up to like a int64 or a uint64. Yeah, I don't know. It's tricky whenever you get to those larger numbers. But most of the time, like, you're not doing that. And you will know if there's a possibility, typically. Like, oh yeah, I'm... Like, for the width table that was using a uint32, it's counting the character sizes. It's like, even if you had 200 characters within this little edit label, like, that's not going to go beyond... Like, the width of 200 characters is not going to go beyond the signed value of, or the max of int32. So it's like, do you really need that extra space? No. And since you're having to interface, I feel like maybe, like, interface with, or I don't know, interface, go between int32 and uint32, I feel like it probably just makes more sense to do int32. But you could just ignore these warnings. These are just warnings. I have chosen to make warnings be treated as errors, so that way I have to fix them, because I got tired of having like 5,000 warnings scrolling by while I'm compiling Crea. What if you use a really big font? It'd have to be pretty large. Very large font size. Okay, cool. So we got this compiling. So let's try to actually get it being displayed on the UI. First thing we have to do is add in all of these different attribute types. So let's see here. We could look for edit label disabled, text offset. I don't know if we have a text offset, do we? In here, text offset, I do. So we could say this is an edit. I think I did dash label this time, which is 4.3. The size is at 148.24. I say that it's edit label, but we could just do default. That's fine too. Full time. Full time is false. Oh, whoops, that's not right. That's default is false. This is, and then we have if an edit label has the state full time, then we set it to true. So, or the class, you set the class of it to full time. That's fine. Font color. Size. Oh yeah, okay. And then there's these other ones like the Caret stuff, which I should be setting as well. Just gonna put those there. So we have caret rect, which is a pixel rect. I can just copy this. So we have blink time and visible time. Visible and it's seconds. That's right. I think what I ended up doing was saying like 300. These are just milliseconds. 900. Okay, what other max characters? Is that a thing? Selection color? I think those are also. We have a lot. Let's see, going down the list here, we have outline data, background data, max characters, we got full time. Max characters is 0 by default. Max characters. Numeric only is false. I think it's that. False selection color. So yeah, again, this is just setting up all the default attributes. Okay, what else? Outline and background data, I need those. Hide characters, wrap text. Hide characters, that's probably just false. Oops. Here's the outline and background data. Nice. Actually, what might be easiest for those is to, this is default. Background data. Just expand data. Set that there. Then we have the outline data. I believe that's what it was. Yeah, outline data. Beautiful. I think that's about it, right? We don't have wrap text, selection color, placeholder, font color. We don't have those either. That's okay for now. We can do wrap text really quick. Do we get cursor offset? Oh, that's for something else. I was thinking of caret offset. What about encoding? Do you use UTF-8? Right now I'm actually not using like any encoding. Sorry, I was kind of focused on that. I haven't decided. Right now the Unicode string is actually just a standard string. I haven't decided yet. So I was just like leaving it there for now. I was going to look into it and see what was best. There was one more, right? Wrap text. Which is also false. Okay, cool. So we got all of that set up. That's a bunch of stuff. So the last thing we want to do now is let's add in after this paragraph. Let's make an edit label. We'll just test edit label. And I think it just takes a placeholder string, which we'll leave empty for now. And we align it to the bottom with 5 padding. That's all fine. Let's go into here and say we are going to have a UI edit label. Will your edit control display Unicode emojis? We will see. I mean, that's some pretty useless features, but awesome at the same time, right? We will see. I don't even know how much text is going to be in the game. So we messed something up here. I think I might know what it is. Well, we can just look. What's the entry? What's the... Wait, what's the best way to do this again? What's the key? Well, that doesn't help. Oh yeah, I can do that. Set up attributes. Oh, there we go. It's unsigned. Edit label. Caret blink time. Yeah. Should have known. I think I remember running into that before. These times, that 300 and 900, those need to be made UN32. So that way they're treated as a uint. Hey, it kind of was working. Shader, handle type is shader. Wait, what's the shader that's trying to get? Oh, I don't think I have a shader, right? Yeah. Wait, what was I doing before? What did I do for our normal, like, image? How do I set the shader? Oh, we actually have that. Okay, fine. We'll do that for this, I guess. Oh, we probably set it in here, huh? Yeah. Okay, fine. We'll do it like this. We don't have like default shaders anymore, so I have to use more shader stuff. Image, that's our texture, so we'll just do this. We'll go to image.h where we have those defined. Go back to edit label.h. And then now that we have that set up, what I want to do is the same thing we do in here. Except that it's going to need to be for all 3 of those. What are things looking like at the moment? We'll be able to see in just a minute here. Just fixing a few things. I think after this we will be able to see it. Okay, and then down here it's the same thing. We just have to replace. And this is where I wish that we had multi-select. Don't know if that was actually faster, but it still feels good. Okay, so now we are using a fragment shader for that stuff. Yeah, but they suck. The Visual Studio multi-cursors suck. You can't do stuff like what I just did. Oh, well, that kind of is not right. It's moving the entire thing, but it's somewhat working. Let's give it better space. What is up with that? Why is it so big now? That's weird. I must have messed with the size. Did I? Oh, maybe I messed that up. Hold up. Size. Where's that at? That's going to be in my manager. There we go. Yeah, I think I'm using size in the button. Yep. So I guess what I should do, I think I changed it. Yeah, we'll say the default is 0. And then we'll say edit label is that. So that will fix that. Let's hide our test paragraph for now. There's still some weirdness going on. We're gonna have to do some debugging here soon. Yeah, like this is not calculating the proper size. See how small it thinks it is? Not right at all. I say resize with this, but why is it not getting that proper size? It should be saying it's 148. I don't know why it's not. I'm just going to, for now, say that our header is like 200 pixels tall, so that way it includes the entire thing. But yeah, the sizing of that's wrong. It seems like the sizing of several things are a little off. There we go. Now we have plenty of space here. So we can see our cursor, it's blinking nicely. But if we start typing in here, testing, we see how this looks. It's capped right now. And so that's weird. Oh, we're not filling in the rectangle. Yeah. We got a lot of things to fix here. Looks like you can't delete either. Oh, the deletion is super weird. What? Okay, I messed that up apparently. Oh, it's all weird. This is all jacked up. Okay. Okay. Things are broken. Cool. You're using the Windows setting for the cursor blink speed? No, it's a custom thing. It's set through the settings. We have them up here. The Caret blink time and visible time. Whee! Yeah, I don't know why it does that. And it like deletes to the end. Yeah, I don't know what's going on there. It's not doing backspacing either. I wonder if it's like just not being aligned. No, I don't know. We'll break into it and figure it out. But hey, we got something rendering. I'm going to call it a day though. I don't want to start going down that rabbit hole of trying to fix all these bugs. We got it working, kind of. Is the box centered but the image isn't resizing in the background? I think it's that the box shouldn't be resizing. It should be a fixed size, but if you noticed, whenever, if you can see this thing, it's trying to center this entire thing here. And what's happening is that as soon as we start typing, it resizes the entire edit label down to just that one character. So that's wrong. Like something is happening there. And that's actually probably why I have in here recalculate size for it. Yeah, that's what's going on. So actually, I don't know if you guys remember, but earlier in today's stream, we have this an edit label, and it's actually just an empty yeah, see, watch. I bet this will fix like a lot of those issues. Yeah, you can see it's the proper size now. Testing to see if this works. Yep. But there's still a bunch of other issues, like backspace is not working and delete deletes everything in front of it, which is definitely not right. But yeah, so the plan is that I'm going to call it a day now. Like I said, my friend is visiting. He leaves Thursday morning. So I'll be continuing until Thursday morning to be streaming for just like an hour and a half to 2 hours each day. Thursday morning I'll probably start late, but stream for longer. And yeah, so tomorrow we'll pick this back up. We'll fix up edit label. We'll also start like fixing up other parts of the UI that we've been working on. And yeah, just hopefully soon wrap up this UI stuff. We've been working on it for a good chunk of time now, but it's coming together nicely. It's looking good. We have a lot of UI stuff laid out now. So yeah, thank you guys for joining. I appreciate it. I hope you all have a good rest of your day, and I will see you tomorrow morning. Take care.